every time you see a certain repeating number or some of the numbers I will be going over today, I will also give you a journaling prompt to write in your book of evidence, proof your angels are with you. You'll know more about that later. What are angel numbers? Also, how do we interpret their meaning? We're going to go over some of the more common ones today briefly, but coming soon, I'm going to be going into a deeper dive into some of the big numbers we see. 111, 222, 333, the one we see a lot for angels, 444. But I'm also going to be going into other angel numbers you might not think is common, like 1234, 1234, or 1313. What does that mean? Well, make sure you smash that like button, share this video with anybody it resonates, and hit the subscribe button so you're notified whenever a new angel number video is released. I also have multiple other videos on my channel that have divine messages for you, so feel free to check that out after this one as well. So let's talk about what are angel numbers. Angel numbers are numbers, especially repeating ones that you see in a very significant moment in your life. Numbers that catch your attention, maybe on a license plate, maybe on a clock, maybe on a receipt you just purchased from the gas pump and it says 2222. I've had that one happen myself. And we're going to talk about some things to do when you see these numbers. Now, the first thing I want to say to you is I'm a little bit different in the way that I teach using angel numbers, because I was taught by my team that the way that you communicate with your spiritual team, which is your angels, your spirit guides, passed away loved ones, you have your own language with them. Now, we're going to go over these meanings so that you have a rough guide. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is whenever you see a repeated sequence, you immediately pause and ask yourself, what were you just doing or thinking about? I encourage you to take a picture of it or grab a journal, write it down, or make a note in your phone if you don't have your journal with you. It's important you begin tracking these angel numbers so you can identify what they mean to you. We have so much to cover in how to use different angel numbers that it is going to take several videos, and I am going to go deep into certain numbers. Like I'll do an entire video on 333 or 1111. It's probably the next one I'm going to do is 1111. Which will also include 111, but I want to briefly go over that here now because I want you to begin noticing your angel numbers right now. So one of the first things you can do is get a journal and make sure that you have a place that you can write the date, the number you saw, and what was going on around that. We'll go into more guidance around that here in a minute, but let's talk a little bit about the spiritual significance of numbers. I was shown by my team that numbers are one of the main ways our spiritual team, our angels, will communicate with us because it's a universal language. Over the years of humans evolving and different cultures evolving, languages change really quickly. It may not seem like that to us humans, but from the angels' perspective, the way that languages change is so fast and the dialect changes so fast over centuries that it was easier to have a universal language that actually vibrates throughout the entire universe, not just in the world that we live in here. In fact, the image I was shown was one of those old-fashioned library stamps that has the dates where you could spin the dial. I know I'm probably dating myself here, but they showed me it just racing through, like without anybody touching it, the dates just racing through, because they were showing me that that's what it's like overall with the universe communicating with us, with God sending us signs and symbols through his angels. So that's why I wanted to start there with that message there so that you understand there is a reason that numbers matter. They are timeless. They are evergreen. They are universal. However, as I said at the beginning of this video, it's important to know that you may have one message that's coming through for you when you see 444, and I might have a different one. So we're going to go into that too, but I want you to immediately be willing to admit or acknowledge that you are open to these angel numbers. And of course, I'm going to have some bonus messages for you there, but even if you just pause and notice a repeating number and say thank you to your spiritual team, you're already doing that. If you begin tracking them, you're going to find that you're going to fill up pages and pages and pages. This happened to me years ago when I began tracking them in my journal. So I encourage you to start noticing that. A lot of times I will take a screenshot of it if it's on my phone, if it's a clock. If I see it on a license plate, of course I'm safe. I'm not doing it while I'm driving, but I'll take a picture. Anything like a receipt or things like that, it goes in my journal. And I try to think about what was going on for me. What was I thinking about there? So that's why it's really important to understand there is a spiritual significance, and it is meant to be something that is very, universal to anybody who's seeing it, no matter what cultural background you're from, no matter what language you speak. So now let's go through some brief general descriptions of each number, because I'm sure you're anxious to hear that, but I am going to be going into a much deeper dive later. So I encourage you to take these definitions very lightly, and you will hear that I actually have my own interpretation as well, that I want you to consider using, but add your own definition, add what it really means to you. So, of course, the one that we hear a lot about is 1111. Now, a lot of different videos out there and different books describe 1111 as a manifestation or new opportunity number. That's how they would say if you see 111 or 1111 that you're in the process of manifesting or new opportunities are coming. I would agree with that. I would also like to add what the angels have shared with me. The angels said to me that 111 is an affirmation of the thought you are having or the path you are headed with your thoughts. Believe in yourself and you will manifest your heart's wishes. So what they're trying to do really is get you to notice what you were just doing or notice the path you're on and pay attention. 1111, I was told, is take the lead. You are on the right path for your heart. Empower yourself to strike off on your own spiritual path and use positive thinking to achieve your life purposes. And remember, we all have many, many, many life purposes. So that was what I get for 111 and 1111. I'd love to hear in the comments what you see and what you think. I have a game my husband and I play where we try to be the first one to say 1111 to the other person if we see it on the clock. It's pretty fun. Or if we're not in the same room or house, we will text it to each other. And we've done it since we very first met. And it was always interesting to see what it would mean for me. It would catch my attention. Sometimes it would literally mean about the path my husband and I were on towards marriage, affirming that. But then there was also times where it would just be a support of what I was currently working on or what thought I was just having. So again, it's always important to stop and ask yourself, what was I just thinking? Another really common one that I get questions about is 333. And now 33 is a master number in numerology. If you are familiar with numerology, then you're familiar with master numbers. But for the point of these messages where we're talking about angel messages, we're going to leave that for another video or another study. I do study numerology. I always have. It's actually what got me into some of the other modalities I study now, like astrology. But I wasn't ever into astrology until I started tracking the numbers and learning their meaning. Then that led me into numerology. Then I got all this validation, and then it was just like drinking from a fire hose with the information and downloads I was getting from my angels. So let's go on to 333. First, I want to start with 33 though, because 33 happens to be one of my favorite numbers. And when I see that number, I immediately sense Jesus is working closely with me in that moment. Now, I always feel Jesus is working with me personally, but I do notice a different sensation there, and it's reminding me to pay attention to that. So when I see 33, the guidance I'm asked to ask myself is, what beliefs are empowering you? Do you really believe in your ability to manifest your heart's wishes? Ask your spiritual team what they are trying to show you. So that's 33 alone. It's very affirming, but it's asking you, do you really believe that you can do this with the power of your team and the power of the magic within you? Which we are all born with divine gifts. So you do have that magic here. That's why you are being guided to watch this video. But then taking 33 to another level, and this is why I wanted to go into deeper videos going down the road, is because I actually break these down. If I have a 33 and I have an 11, if I see 1133, And then I see 1144, and then I see 1155. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Something is trying to get my attention, and I incorporate those numbers in. But those are going to be for later videos because I want to first keep you focused on starting to notice these numbers now, starting to write them in your journal. It's really important to keep them all in one place so you can go back and see them and see how often your angels are sending you these numbers. So for me, 333 means master the art of believing in yourself and your ability to manifest your greatest desires. And you will see divine paths and life purposes open before you. Because as I said before, we have many life purposes. So one of the general meanings I saw when I was looking at what other people define 333 as is that it does mean assistance from ascended masters. It's also encouraging creativity and self-expression. So that correlates that when I see 33, I think of Jesus, or many say Yeshua, and how closely we work together and always have. But it may be a different ascended master for you. So I wanted to share that definition that I've seen in different books and things, because it might mean something different for you, like Buddha or, Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. So you know what that is for you. But again, pay attention. All right. So we'll go over one other big one before I give you a bonus message here at the end of this video. And I go into a few other descriptions about this. 444. This is the big angel number you see all over social media. 4 is often associated with protection and encouragement. It's a reminder that you have spiritual support with you. So I do have a story to share with you about 444, but first I want to go into the meanings that I was shown for 44 and 444. And of course, I will go into much deeper with other angel number videos coming up. But the first one is 44. So anytime I see that, I get a message from my team that angels are asking you to intentionally communicate with them. They are asking you to stop and ask for help, or ask for a loud and clear sign on what it is to do next, or ask for guidance, because we do have the law of free will, and often we forget to ask, and we do have to ask for our spiritual team to help us, for our angels to help us. And then when I see 444, the message I normally get is, remember, we, your angels, are always with you. Where you are is where you are meant to be. Please watch the vibration of your thoughts and go higher. Okay, so here's my fun little story about 444 and when I was seeing it every day. I was waking up at 444 in the morning. I was seeing it on receipts, gas pumps, license plates, like crazy. It was during the time that I was transitioning out of my accounting practice. So I actually graduated with my degree in accounting and business administration. I started my own small business consulting practice, and I did that for about 16 years. Very left brain, right? But also involving numbers. One of the reasons I chose accounting is I did always enjoy math. I did always enjoy numbers, and I found I had an odd sense of being able to remember number sequences, or just certain numbers would stick with me. I can even remember like phone numbers from my dad's office when I was, 5 or 6 years old for whatever reason. So I noticed that I always liked working with numbers. And then I had this big divine appointment that came through. It actually came through multiple significant events. I actually do share what happened to me when I saw angels around my bed when I was 19, and then other activations I got on my YouTube channel if you want to go check out my story times. But I was activated to leave my small business consulting and go full time into sharing angel messages and teaching other people how to connect with the angels, which is what I do now full time. But while I was doing that, I had very young kids. I was working part-time from home with very young kids, and I had a busy life supporting my husband's role with his job, and it was not easy for me to sit down and find time to meditate, to journal, to plan what I wanted to do next with my work. And I would get frustrated, and I would notice that when the kids would come home from school, or even they were pretty young, this was probably preschool age when they would come home, I would be tired from running around getting things that had to be done that day, like paying bills, other work, errands, grocery shopping, whatever it is, doing laundry. And then they would get home hungry, needing my attention. And I would often catch myself feeling drained and thinking, When am I ever going to find the time to meditate? When am I ever going to find the time to receive divine guidance? And I would see 4:44 all the time. I wouldn't just see it on the clock. I would see it like right when the microwave was counting down or the oven timer was counting down to 4 minutes, 44 seconds. I would see it on the TV with something. So I started tracking it, and it was always around the time that I started feeling like I was not on my spiritual path. I would think, gosh, I'm never going to find time to meditate. And I would kind of have that inner monologue. And then the message came through very clearly when I finally asked, why am I seeing this all the time? And it was that they were saying wherever you are is where you are meant to be. You can be very present in the moment while you're washing the dishes, while you are doing the laundry, and that it forms like a practice of meditation. Practice meditating while you do this work. Be very intentional with the love you put into the food you're creating for your family. These are ways that you can walk your spiritual path, develop your intuitive ability to a deeper level, and still maintain the responsibilities your heart wants you to do. So maybe somebody out there needed to hear that because they've been getting these repeating numbers, but they don't know when they're going to find time to dive in. It just takes a brief moment to acknowledge it and to catch what you were doing and take it higher. So that's one of my favorite ones, and I probably will go into more meaning with another 4:44 message. I've done some lives on that as well, and I love hearing from you what it means for you. And so I'm going to just have that reminder one more time to make sure you're interpreting it through your own guide's lens. You're literally developing a language with your angels and with your team. So these messages that I'm sharing with you about angel numbers they are guideposts, okay? I'm never going to tell you this is what it means for you. In fact, that's another good reminder here. The angels are never going to tell you what to do. They are only going to give you gentle guidance. And this is one of the ways they can offer you gentle guidance is because they can do this in a way that isn't startling. You know, it's not a surprise to you. They just make sure you happen to glance over and see it on that billboard. So that's a big thing to keep in mind too. All right, remember I said if you stay to the end of this video, I have a bonus message for you. But please, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like and share this video if it resonates with you. Let me know if any of the meanings I'm sharing with you, you've also gotten from your spiritual team, if you've already been working with your angel numbers. And I want to give you a journaling prompt. So this is something different I'm going to do as well with this series that I haven't seen out there, is I want to encourage you to really ask questions about these numbers and really understand what your angels are telling you by writing these journaling prompts down and asking, okay? So here is your journaling prompt for this video. You can come back anytime and get it and write it in your journal and ask, when was the last time I saw repeating numbers multiple times in a short time period? When was the last time I saw repeating numbers multiple times in a short time period? Then the follow-up question is, and what was going on in my life at that time? So I remember very clearly that when 4:44 was everywhere, I was a busy mom of very young kids trying to transition away from my accounting practice into a full-time spiritual practice as my profession. And it was so loud and clear. And I have it in my journal. I have it tracked, and I have things that I wrote next to it that were going on for me. And that's where we create that hindsight. I always say hindsight is one of the most powerful tools for deepening your connection with the angels, because you can go back, connect the dots, and create your book of evidence. Now, do you not remember the last time? All right, that's okay. I have another prompt for you. We are literally going to ask, we're going to say, angels, please send me loud and clear signs. Grab your journal, write the date and time down, and write, angels, please send me loud and clear signs. Then remain open to that, okay? So I do that. I keep all my stuff in one place, and I want to encourage you to join my free newsletter at devondoer.com, because there you will receive my free gift, my ebook, Is It a Sign? How to Recognize Signs and Discover Their Meaning. This also gives you 5 questions to ask every time you see a sign, not just angel numbers. There are a lot of ways our angels will send us signs, and it's important you track it all in one place. In fact, I have a custom journal I sell on Amazon that comes with a 4-part webinar that teaches you how to deepen your connection with the angels using journaling. It's called Book of Evidence, Proof Your Angels Are With You. And it has custom templates in here that guide you. It has an intuition tracker to make it easy to track your angel numbers. But I want you to make sure you understand that you can use any journal you want. If you're just getting started, just grab a journal that you can use just for this and make it only about tracking your angel numbers or your signs from your angels, and keep track of the date and time. It will really help you with that hindsight. All right, so let's go into the bonus meaning of 444. And I would like to ask you if you would write this pocket affirmation in the comments below so I know you made it to the end of this video. I easily recognize angel numbers. Write that in the comments below this video. I easily recognize angel numbers. That's another way to open up to the divine guidance. All right, here's the bonus message for you. You are seeing this video about angel numbers because you are a divine appointment. You are here to share your spiritual gifts with the world. So again, write in the comments below this, I easily recognize angel numbers, so that you can own that you are a divine appointment. See you in the next video of these angel series. And remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.